Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to episode 6 of the Building My Dream Jump series. So for today's episode, what the plan is to turn this pile of dirt here into a shark fin of some sort, sort of like a hip step down or long and low kind of hip. And so at the moment, unfortunately, I think it is way too wide. Like, it's way wider than it needs to be, because I mean pretty much everything to like the right of my shadow doesn't actually need to be there really. And I mean, when I was building it with the digger, I thought it needed to be bigger, but now in hindsight, like, it needs to be a lot skinnier. So I'm thinking what we'll need to do is kind of cut it from like sort of maybe this grass clump, cut it down, cut away all that dirt, and then cut it again from this sort of grass clump there-ish. So this one is going to be a really big job, so there's a lot of dirt to move out of the way, but I'd rather have too much dirt than not enough. So what I'm going to do to start off with tonight is just sort of start scraping away and get the rough shape of it. Probably not going to get into any slapping tonight, but it will happen in this video. In this video we will finish this one and get it as buttery as the other one and have two real awesome jumps side by side. So what I'm going to do is jump into the time lapse now, working on how we're going to do this thing. Sweet guys, so after about an hour of digging, we're sort of getting the rough shape what this jump's going to look like. It is amazing how much extra dirt there actually was, but we're sort of starting to be able to picture, you know, it's going to sort of come up here on a slight angle and hip over to there, what it's going to look like. So what still needs to happen is this dirt needs scraped away, this dirt needs scraped away more. I don't know if I'll be able to move all that. I'm going to scrape it back quite a bit so you can at least see the edge nicely. And then I want to get the top of this to be much higher, so I probably want the top to be in line with that dirt behind there, so I'll stack some of this dirt on there to get it higher. And then that will probably be it for tonight, like stacking up and scraping. I shouldn't even know how far I'm going to get because it's dark in about an hour and I'm quite tired already. So what we're going to do, jump back to the time lapse in a second, just work more on scraping that away, scraping this away and getting it stacked taller, see where we get to, and then we'll get back into more tomorrow. So back to the time lapse now. Awesome team, that is going to do it for tonight. Looking from here, we can finally sort of see what this jump's going to look like. Definitely needs heaps more work and definitely needs more of the dirt scraped away here and there to tidy it up, but we've got the bones of a jump now. We scraped it out, dug it out, carved it out of there. Like, it's starting to look pretty good. And so the idea I'm going for with this is sort of like it's kind of like a berm, kind of like a jump. So it's sort of like kind of called a shark fin, not quite a shark fin jump, but sort of like a hipped kind of fin step down, like long enough feature. So I'll put a picture in the video now of the one from the Fruit Farm. So one from the Fruit Farm is the one I'm sort of trying to design this one over. yeah, so you see that fruit farm one there, so that's what I'm going for here. So what I think we're gonna do tomorrow when we next dig on this is scrape away a bit more of this dirt, hopefully get someone out here helping me with it, and then start to carve this thing out a little bit more. So try and get it a wee bit steeper. So we want to have it going steeper, like up and down, but also steeper on this angle here. So this will end up a lot higher than that side, so we'll have like a nice lip to it, so it sort of naturally turns you this way, so you can head straight into that big lip there, onto that landing. And I'm also thinking, because right now, like looking from here, it's about the same height as that one, but I definitely want to make it quite a lot higher. I want to make it about as high as the top of the dirt there. You can see that top of the dirt there. I want to make it about that high, so it's really easy to make it over the fence and skim over this one. Because I'm thinking you'll come over this and hopefully you won't have to pedal at all, or maybe like 1 or 2 pedals, and then just cruise over this and fly into that with perfect speed. So in any case, that's gonna be the end for tonight. So we'll jump back in tomorrow and start shaping up even more. Sweet guys, so into day 2 of working on this lip. Starting to get a bit of a shape to it, but luckily today I got Jonas and Joseph to help out, and Johnny's here as well, so 3 extra sets of hands, so it should go way quicker. So the plan is just to move a bunch of this dirt out of the way, that dirt out of the way, scrape this thing out and stack it a bit higher. So we'll jump straight to the time lapse now. Sweet team. So thanks to Jonas, Joseph and Johnny, heaps of this dirt has been moved. Like, should probably do a before and after sign to show you, but so much that's been moved, and they actually tidied it up good at the top all the way to that edge, so it looks so good from here, real nice and tidy. Got a nice edge there, starting to get the top. And so what I'm trying to do now, and I'll probably try and get done before the end of tonight, is just filling in this corner here a little bit more so it's even from the side, fix up the side, then give it a slap up with topsoil. So it's close to even but not quite, and then when I come next time we'll get some clay it up, get it real smooth, and it should be done. So we'll jump back in the time lapse now. Sweet team, so that's starting to look pretty good. And in all honesty, like if it was dry and it hardened up, you could probably try and hit it already, but we're definitely gonna clay it up. So start with the dirt straight off the side, kind of gives you a perspective of it. It's gonna be off that landing, rip down here, and then it's sort of like, it's kind of hard to tell I guess, but it is slightly on an angle, so you come up here, then hit this to the left, and hopefully it'll set you up perfectly to go under there and then hit that next jump. So it'll just be big wooden kicker jump, big flip or something over this, and another big trick. So I'm real stoked how it's looking. So we'll come back either tomorrow on Sunday, it'll be in a couple seconds to you guys, clean this thing up all nice so it's at least as good as that, and it should be good. Another thing done. Sweet guys, it is now day 3 of working on this jump, so it's looking pretty good. There's actually been 5 days since I last worked on it. It's rained heaps since then. It's actually spitting a bit now. You actually see the massive puddle there. So what I need to do is try and dig a little bit of a drain to get rid of some of that water today. And then all that's left to do on this one is to clay it up. So there's some clay there. Can definitely have to get some more. And you might notice there's actually an electric fence around this part of the jumps right now. So the reason for that is there's actually a couple, yeah, there we go. There's a couple sheep in the paddock right now. There won't be sheep in this paddock heaps, on occasion there will be, which is all good. So we just have to put up the fence. So Josh and I put this up the other day. Didn't bother filming it because it was raining heaps, just couldn't be bothered in the rain, but the fence is there. So what I'm gonna do, get into a quick time lapse, draining some of this water and then start claying this thing up. Let's quickly show you how much it's firmed up, which I haven't really checked myself. So it's not too bad, a little bit crumbly, but it's sort of getting there. And it's got a nice shape now. So I'm gonna get the clay on the sides, on the top, and on the lip, get it nice and clayed up. Then it should be finished, which should be sick. And then the next video will hopefully be testing it out sometime after Christmas. So jump into the time lapse now. Sweet guys, we've got rid of a fair hunk of that water. We've gone from having it up to the clay pile down to there. There's still a little bit there. It doesn't really matter for digging right now. Sort of got a kind of decent drain there. To be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing digging that drain. So if you've got any tips on making it, definitely leave them in the comments. What we're gonna get and do now is, because this is nice and wet already from the rain, we're start throwing some of this clay up it and just sort of slapping this thing out, getting it into the shape we want it and getting it to look like this landing and lip. You know, keep working on building up this corner. I might actually water this corner, which might seem silly because it's raining, but it does need some more water on it. So what we're gonna do, getting the time lapse, slapping this thing up nice and buttery. Should be good. Okay, so guys, this clay edge here may be looking really good, but I think I made a potential mistake, because if you listen to this, this clay is just so super waterlogged. I'm actually a bit worried that when I slap it up, well, once it's dried up, slapping up, it's just gonna peel off of this dirt. So potentially too wet, and when you're digging, you actually can get clay that's too wet. So what I've done is scraped off all that stuff there off here and so I made it kind of smoothish. What I'm gonna do now instead is go out with the wheelbarrow, get some of the drier clay there, and then start packing and hopefully mix into this to make up for it being too wet. The issue you get when it's too wet is when it dries out, it cracks heaps and peels and bits fall off. So you want it to be wet, but not like soaking wet and soaked. So I'm gonna do, jump back in the time lapse in a second, get some clay from there and then start claying it up. And hopefully it comes out real nice. Looking forward to finishing this one today. Sweet everyone, so there is the first initial buttering done of this lip. It is super close to finish, so done the back edge nicely, done the top, done this side, and done, let's run around, done the other side as well. So now all that's left to do is to give the top section one more buttering of clay and sort of get it back down to maybe like here. I'll go further eventually, but it's too wet there right now, but to about here, butter it up real nice, and it should be finished. Super stoked on the progress on this one. And this one has definitely been the one with the most work, like in terms of hours digging and dirt moves. So be sure to smash like on this one, because heaps of work has gone to this one. Leave some comments on, maybe share it around if you enjoy it. And do let me know in the comments. A couple people have said to me that the Timelapse has been a bit long, and some said they've been too short. So let me know like what you prefer. I sort of try to go for a medium length time lapse. In this video and the last one, I've definitely just been, because I've been working for so long, not really checking in. The time lapse have been longer. So let me know what you think about the time lapses below. What we're gonna do now is get into hopefully the last one in this video, butter it up one more time, get it super smooth, then get into the before and after. Super stoked. Everyone, I am really pumped on this one. Check this thing out. Man, look at the butter on that. So what we're gonna do is spend like a minute here just admiring this thing. So eventually it will go all the way down. Right now it's just too muddy right there. Let's have a look going up. Just smooth as, there's peanut butter all over. Get a look at this edge. I'll give you a close up of the edge. Look at that thing. Man, I'm chuffed on this build. Go from the top. Boom, square edges all around. It's got that nice curve. Let's look here. Boom, look at that. So I'm really stoked how well that like off camber came up. Look at the back, it's awesome. Here on this edge as well. Man, I am so stoked on this. This has got to be potentially one of the coolest things I think I've built, or one of the builds I'm most stoked on. So recently all these digging videos have been getting like 70+ likes, and they're getting close to 100 due to how hard this build was. I'd be really stoked for you guys to get this build to 100 likes. If you don't, it's all good, but it'd really make my day if you get this to 100 likes. I mean, just look at this thing. This thing is unreal. What I'm gonna do now is get into the before and after shots. Mean. So if those before and afters don't get you stoked for digging jumps or iron jumps, I don't know what will. It's definitely got me so stoked. Like, I'm so happy with the effort there. Massive shout out to Jonas, Johnny, and Jost for their help on this one. Those guys are legends. So this one is probably gonna be the last digging video till after Christmas. And so what I think the next one will be, we'll potentially be testing this out. Like right now it's obviously soaking wet, but over the Christmas break, there's going to be heaps of 25 degrees plus days. It's not going to rain for a couple of weeks. This will dry out real nice. To be honest, it'll probably need a wee touch up before we test it. So we'll either be testing out this one, or the next one could potentially be shaping up this landing here and then putting another wooden ramp like that one behind it. So it won't be exactly the same. I've bought an old wooden ramp off my mate. It's got a steel frame, works real well. I've ridden it before. It's a little bit more metal than that one, so that one's going to go there. So that potentially could be the next video as well. Maybe building this up and testing that. If not, I'll be testing this. In any case, be sure to stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching this one. If you made it this far into this episode, you're an absolute legend. Be sure to give the video a like. Remember, I'm really keen to get this one to 100 likes. This is the best build I've done yet. All good if not, though I was stoked for it was. Leave some comments what you thought about the build. Share it around with your friends and subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in the next one, team. Cheers.